What's up guys, it's Tom here and welcome to a brand new Liverpool transfer news update video, and we will talk about Marc Guehi in this video mainly because Steve Parish, the Crystal Palace chairman, has come out with a very interesting revealing interview, and Oliver Glasner, the Crystal Palace manager, also said some words about Marc Guehi after Crystal Palace's 1-0 win against Fredrikstad in the first leg of their Conference League playoff. But we will also have updates around Harvey Elliott and his talks with Leipzig, and also we will have major updates on the Alex and Isak transfer situation. So guys, strap in and enjoy these videos. If you enjoy these, make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you're new around here so you never miss the latest Liverpool transfer news updates videos. So Steve Parish, who is the chairman of Crystal Palace, and he is in charge of the main decisions whether a player is sold or whether a player is bought. He said that Marc Guehi is a difficult situation. Everyone has to sell players to comply with the rules, and that's the situation that we will have to look at in the next 11 days. And once he signs a new contract, he can stay, he said about Marc Guehi. But if he doesn't, we have to look at selling him, and that indicates to me that there is a high possibility that Marc Guehi will be sold, but I think only after the second leg is over. Liverpool are now, not communicating with Newcastle until after the Monday game, which will be a very explosive Newcastle-Liverpool game. I'm really looking forward to it, but also dreading it a little bit. Hopefully no Liverpool players get injured, but also Liverpool will be respectful to Crystal Palace, and I think we will let Marc Guehi play the second leg, and after that we will really ramp up the talks, because the second leg is next Thursday, which is the 28th of August, and after that Liverpool still have a good 3 days left to fresh out the transfer with Crystal Palace for Marc Guehi. Is that a risky strategy? Probably. But still, Liverpool want to be respectful, and getting to the Conference League group stage is a huge thing for Crystal Palace. This is the first time they have been in Europe in their history after winning the FA Cup. They should be in the Europa League, but the UEFA rules are absolutely idiotic, kicking Crystal Palace out of the Europa League and putting Nottingham Forest there. It's an absolute disgrace in my opinion. And Oliver Glasner said that we really needed Marc Guehi in this leg, in this game at home, and we really need him in the second leg, so we have to keep him, and after that maybe he will be sold. And we know that Marc Guehi won't extend his contract, and Steve Parish said that Marc Guehi can't stay unless he extends his contract, because Crystal Palace, they are a rich club, but they are not that rich that they can just let 40 million go down the drain. They are not that rich, and I think only Man City and maybe a few other clubs like Paris Saint-Germain are that rich. Oliver Glasner here, when he said that Marc Guehi has to stay, he was talking about the second leg, which is possible he plays regardless if a deal is in place out of respect. And I think it's absolutely crucial that Liverpool get another centre back in. Yes, on paper we have the numbers, but as you could see with the Jeremy Frimpong injury, by the way, Arsenal just confirmed that Frimpong has a small hamstring tear, which means that he will be out until after the international break, so he misses 2 Premier League games. But yeah, Conor Bradley just got back into training, and Joe Gomez still not getting back to full fitness. He couldn't train for a couple of days after playing a few minutes against Bournemouth, so Joe Gomez's fitness is a worry. And Conor Bradley, I'm not sure he will be ready to start against Newcastle. Hopefully he will be, but Marc Guehi is needed at centre back, and I think Liverpool will pay the 40 million asking price of Crystal Palace, and I think we will do that deal, but only after the second leg probably, because we want to have Crystal Palace out to help Crystal Palace qualify for the Conference League group stage, which would be a monumental achievement for them. And Oliver Glasner was actually very honest in his press conference, saying that it's not a surprise that Eberechi Eze left. There was a high chance of a big club signing Eze in this transfer window. Where Crystal Palace made a mistake is that not replacing Eze earlier, because now with the £68 million transfer fee burning a hole in their pocket. Everybody knows Crystal Palace have a lot of money, so if they want to sign the as a replacement now, they will have to pay a premium price. Otherwise, if they signed an as a replacement a month ago, then that would have been probably a cheaper option, and there would be more options available for Crystal Palace as well. So if Marc Guehi leaves, and that's a very high chance of him going to Liverpool as well, then Crystal Palace will be left really short, because Eze and Marc Guehi are two of their maybe 3 or 4 best players. Mateta, I think, is the third one. But probably Guehi, Eze and Mateta are the 3 best players of Crystal Palace. Eze is going to Arsenal. Marc Guehi is more and more likely to go to Liverpool. So that leaves with just Mateta, and they would need to sign top-class replacements. Not just for staying in the Premier League, but also for their Conference League campaign. And Marc Guehi had a really, really good game. Crystal Palace kept a clean sheet. Marc Guehi played the full game. He made 4 clearances. He made 2 interceptions. He had a 90% pass accuracy. He made 3 key passes. He also had 7 accurate long balls out of 11, which I love that in his game. That he's similar to Van Dijk, is that he can ping these 60-yard diagonals to the striker or to the wingers. And he also made, 1 successful dribble. He created 2 big chances for his teammates. And he won 7 out of his 8 duels. So he only missed or lost 1 duel out of 8. So that's a fantastic achievement. And he was the best defender on the pitch. He was the man of the match for Crystal Palace. And Fabrizio Romano also updated us on Newcastle's striker pursuit. Newcastle have made contact with Chelsea regarding the possibility of signing Nicholas Jackson in the last 48 hours. And Newcastle are also in talks with Wolves for the signing of Jacob Strand-Larsen, or Jürgen Strand-Larsen, not sure what his Jürgen Strand-Larsen, that's his first name. So Wolves and Newcastle are around £5 million apart in valuations of Wolves striker Jürgen Strand-Larsen. So I think Newcastle will eventually get there. There is a lot bigger difference in valuation when it comes to Johan Wissa. So if Newcastle managed to sign Johan Wissa and Strand-Larsen, that's 2 strikers signed before transfer deadline day, and in theory that would let Newcastle be able to sell Alexander Isak for a huge amount of money. Every day, as I said, every day the chance is getting less and less, but if Newcastle manage to get these strikers over the line, I can't see them keeping Isak just for the sake of keeping him, because right now they know that this is Isak's highest valuation. If they keep him and Isak doesn't play for Newcastle until January, his value will absolutely skydive, nosedive, plummet, whatever you want to call it, and they will lose 40-50 million pounds in just a few months. Yes, they have ultra rich owners, but still, with Newcastle having to comply with UEFA financial fair play rules, with Premier League profit and sustainability rules, they need to watch out for their finances. So selling Isak for 135 million makes a lot of sense. I think for Liverpool it's the right move to keep our distance until after the Newcastle-Liverpool game, because we want to be respectful to Newcastle, and we also don't want to fuel the fire. We don't want to flame the tensions up anymore, because anyway the Newcastle fans are really angry at Liverpool. I'm not sure why. Liverpool just made a record bid for Isak and nothing else. It's Isak who actually has a problem with Newcastle United and not Liverpool. But yeah, that's the thing with football. The media is in the hands of the Saudi Arabia government. A lot of the media and newspapers are run by people with very close ties to Saudi Arabia. And I'm talking in the UK. The UK media, the UK sports newspapers, and a lot of journalists are in the pockets of the Saudi Arabian government because of how much money they have. The coverage around this Alexander Isak transfer saga has been, of course, not in favor of Liverpool. It has been in favor of Newcastle United, and that's what the Newcastle fans are reading. And of course, there are 2 sides to the story. Alexander Isak has his side, and I'm sure that he has his reasons why he is doing what he is doing, going on strike, putting out the statement that he is very disappointed because he has had promises broken by Newcastle United. The trust is gone, the relationship is broken, so the relationship can't continue. Alexander Isak wants out, he wants to leave, and he's a modern professional otherwise, normally, so there must be big reasons behind the scenes why Alexander Isak is doing what he's doing. But the media is pushing this narrative that it's Liverpool's fault for some reason, of course, so I expect a very, very tense Newcastle-Liverpool game. So I think it's the right decision for Liverpool to wait until after the Newcastle-Liverpool game, and after that game is over, the next day Liverpool can start the negotiations back up again with Newcastle United, and hopefully we will put in a bid of 135 million, and hopefully by that time Newcastle we have already signed Johan Wissa and Strand Larsen. The dream scenario is they both get signed by Newcastle, and then Newcastle having two strikers plus Alexander Isak before transfer deadline day. That would I think make it easier for Newcastle to say, you know what, if you bid a huge amount for Isak, we will let him go. And the Newcastle fans would accept that situation, that scenario, a lot easier. Because if they sell Isak now, it would look awful in front of the Newcastle fans. And Newcastle are all about PR, all about how their image looks in the media. That's why they paid a lot of money to these journalists to publish these pieces, which spin the narrative to favor Newcastle United and to keep their PR image as good looking as possible in the media. So hopefully you see through all of that, because I'm sure that many of my viewers see through these narratives. You guys are very smart, and I will also want to give you guys my perspective and how I see things in these videos. Also, just a few words on Rodrigo. Rodrigo is not an Isak alternative. Rodrigo is a market opportunity. If a player of Rodrigo's caliber is available, then Liverpool would be interested in him. And Rodrigo has said to Xabi Alonso he wants to leave the club because he doesn't have the future at Real Madrid, and his father will need to really temper down his expectations. He will be another player at Liverpool if he signs, and if they have realistic wage expectations, his wages are right now £200,000 per week at Real Madrid. So if he doesn't want to get 350,000 pounds per week, then something could happen if they keep their wages realistic. But if not, then it's not a priority for Liverpool. Liverpool will be happy to play Gakpo and Gumoa and potentially Chiesa on the left wing. So if this transfer happens, it will only happen on Liverpool's terms. With the striker department, I think it's either Liverpool get Isak or we wait. Because right now, I think Liverpool will only want a striker who is a long-term solution to the striker department. Otherwise, we can play Florian Wirtz at striker, we can play Cody Gakpo at striker, we can play Chiesa at striker. Liverpool have a lot of options. None of them are ideal. Of course, Hugo Ekitike will be Liverpool's main only out-and-out striker, out-and-out number 9. Of course, another option would be to take Rodrigo on loan with an option to buy. That is a very low risk, high reward scenario, because if Liverpool will take Rodrigo, maybe we pay like 7 million for a 1-year loan of Rodrigo. And if he tears up the Premier League, if he becomes brilliant at Liverpool, then we have the option to buy him. But right now, that I'm not sure if Liverpool would do that commitment, especially with the Isak transfer still available. I think Liverpool will wait until the last few days of the transfer window to see whether we can still do the Isak deal. Because if we can do the Isak deal, Liverpool will spend that huge amount of money on Alexander Isak, 130 million. Hopefully we can get the Marc Guehi transfer over the line as well, and after that Liverpool might sell Harvey Elliott to balance the books a little bit. But otherwise we would have the perfect squad going into the season, because having Isak and Ekitike rotating up front, that would be the perfect two strikers option for Liverpool. And also at centre back we would have 5 centre backs, which is a very, very ideal scenario. And then Liverpool wouldn't be under huge pressure to keep Konate. We could even sell him in the last few days of the transfer window in a weird scenario. Ben Jacobs reported that Liverpool's preference is to keep Harvey Elliott, but Leipzig are working on a deal. Nothing has been agreed club to club as of Thursday morning. At the right price, Liverpool will reluctantly sanction a sale due to understanding Elliott's desire to start every week, but Elliott staying would be welcomed at Liverpool because he remains a valued squad player. Yes, Elliott wants to play every week and he wants to start every week, but that is not going to happen. Also, Harvey Elliott staying a little bit mitigates the risk of what happens with Liverpool when Salah goes to the Africa Cup of Nations for a month. If Frimpong is out injured, then we can only play Chiesa really on the right wing, and I'm not sure if Chiesa can play a whole month on the right wing with great success. Harvey Elliott would be a good option to keep as a potential right winger as well. So let me know what do you think about this, what do you think about all the transfer scenarios that we talked about in this video, and thanks for watching. See you later, goodbye.